Are you wondering how to create 3D digital twins faster and how to include 360 video in a 3D tour? Are you wondering how to create 2D floor plans faster or seeking a 3D tour platform without monthly fees? Stay tuned. Hi all, I'm Dan Smigrod, founder of the We Get Around Network Forum. Today is Thursday, October 26, 2023, and you're watching WGAN-TV live at 5. We have an awesome show for you today. How to scan with Urbanimmersive ultra-fast 3D digital twins app and 3D video fusion plus floor plans. Our subject matter experts are Urbanimmersive President and CEO Ghislain Lemire and Urbanimmersive Executive Vice President François-Huges. Ghislain, Francois, thanks for being back on the show.
It's a pleasure. Thank you, Dan, for having us.
Nice to see you again, Dan.
Francois, before we jump into today's topic, tell us about Urbanimmersive.
Yes. Urbanimmersive is many things, but among all of them, we're specializing in a real estate visual content provider. We have everything from single property websites to print material, and also we have what we'll be talking about today, like 3D tours and floor plans, and always new products that are coming out towards that extent.
Awesome. And the sweet spot for Urbanimmersive, your clients are?
Mainly, we have real estate photographers. That's our main customer base. We have a platform called TourBuzz, which we've been operating for many years now, that specializes in providing visual content for real estate photographers.
Cool. Ghislain, why don't you jump into what you got, maybe to go ahead and share your screen. And while you're doing that, I'll mention that later in the show, we'll have a special offer for you based on something really cool that Ghislain's going to show you. You want to go ahead and share your screen, Ghislain?
Yeah, thank you, Dan. I'm going to start sharing my screen right away. And of course, during the last couple of months, we launched a couple of products. So hopefully today during the podcast, we're going to be able to kind of just wrap everything so people will understand exactly what we have in terms of technology. So let's start here. And you're just going to confirm that you see my screen, okay? All good?
All good.
All right. So yeah, Francois really well described Urbanimmersive actually, but I'd like to focus on the fact that Urbanimmersive is definitely focusing actually on digital twins for real estate marketing. So we're not all over the place. We kind of just target this market. This is why I think right now we have some very good feature because businesses in the real estate market industry. I'm trying to change the slide here. Look for efficiency, look for productivity and cost-effective solution. So just before we go into the recipe, how we do our stuff and everything, I just would like to show you an example of the end result of multiple products that we're going to cover today. This is what we call a video fusion. So this is basically a digital twins like, you know them. And basically, instead of just being fixed images, fixed panoramics is a 360 video degree actually that you're looking at. But if I use my mouse right now, you can see where I'm going to click. I can move at any places within the environment like a 3D tour, usual standard 3D tour. The only exception is when I change my location. If I decide to go here, if I don't want, basically it's a 360 video you're watching. I just muted the sound, we're not disturbed by the sound. But basically, those are people talking, describing the home. So at each location, you can follow the video. So let's say I got enough from this example here. I go there, opening up the wine cellar. All right, that's cool. There's, a lot of things to describe here. I want to go back to the living room. Let's say I'm going to click on the wall there. There it is. Now, I'm within the 360 video of the living room. So this is the end result, basically, of the what we call the video fusion. But it all comes up with a couple of products we launched at the beginning of the year. And the concept behind those products, which is the Floorplan Plus that we're going to talk the 3D tour video image resolution as well. It's all started by a different approach of creating digital twins. You know, basically you saw it. We use 360-degree video recording scanning method. And this approach has multiple advantages. Of course, you will see it live. I kind of this morning recorded a video just for you guys to show how quick it is to scan a 2,000 square foot building spaces. It's super quick. I don't know right now a quicker way of scanning a home than with video recording. It's foolproof scanning. I was about to write something like dummy proof, but I think foolproof it's great. It works outdoor as well, not just for indoor. And it's going to work in light and dark environments. So if you have something very dark, especially, you know, with burned house, damaged house, where electricity might be difficult sometimes to have. I know it because the image that is there, it's a burned house that I shoot in myself. The basement was all dark, and we succeeded to get a great floor plan. You will see, I'm going to show a couple of examples at the end of the presentation. It works for very, very large buildings. So you can do an entire school, actually, that have here in demo in 5 hours and get the floor plans, the 3D tour and stuff like that.
And you can do them as a team also, because like you can have different operators working in one place, so they can have all their own scans, like every level, and we all mix them together afterwards.
Thank you, Francois. The fact that we have the 360 video recording, it's also enabling us to use the audio and the video, what we call, you know, capture extensive data. We're going to use them to bring some very innovative features. And of course, at the end of the day, the floor plans are very accurate, and we have multiple competitors right now, you know, benchmarking our floor plans, and they don't find any issues with it. You know, they're perfect. So they're accurate as Matterport would be accurate, Cubi-Casa, you can name it all. There's no doubt there. In some places, you know, we will say that because we always provide the 3D footage with it, you can benchmark the floor plans with the actual images. So let's start with the first product we launched this year that we call it the Minute Floor Plans internally, but we call it Floorplan Plus. It's very easy to do. So first of all, you just need a 360 camera. For my example here today, I use the 360 camera from Ricoh, the Z1 that everybody knows. With a tripod, you can use a monopod if you want. We're going to suggest, it's recommended, it's not a mandatory feature, but we're going to suggest a 4 feet height. So it's just going to give a better kind of user experience when navigating. And also, for us, it's also going to be easier to calibrate the camera because we kind of use with the 4 feet height camera. Then the workflow is very simple. When you want to create a Floorplan Plus with our system, you're going to download the app. So it's an app that works on iOS, it works on Android. Right now, I'm having it on my iPhone. You're going to see the video at the next slide. You're going to create your project. You're going to start recording a video. So it's going to be one video per floor. So let's say you do the first floor, you end in it, you just press stop, you change the floor, and you record a new video for the second floor or the basement. We're going to suggest at least one panoramic per one stop. We call them stop because you just drop the tripod. At least one stop per room, ideally 2. But for small room, 1 will be enough. And then when it's done, you're just uploading the video on our server, and you get the output. I'm going to talk about the output actually. So first, I'm going to start this video here. I'm just going to cut the sound here. Can I? Like this? Yeah. So right now what I'm doing is I'm using the app. I'm going to select Floorplan Plus, just start recording, and the app will trigger the camera and start the video recording. This is how, you know, we scan a Floorplan Plus. So you just take your tripod, you stop it there, you created some, you know, stop and go. You put it in the room like this, step back a bit, just to give, you know, some chance to see more the environment. A cool feature, basically, when you scan like this, is that you can open doors, open lights. You can, you know, having some moving objects. You can even having some moving people. Oh my God, I should have closed the ball here, the toilet. Sorry for this, not professional at all. But
So
you know,
for clarification, you're shooting video and dropping the tripod in each room.
Exactly, as fast as this. And you have here the exact floor plan that it provided. So you can see right now I'm going to just drop the, because I wanted to have some sort of a clearer view here of the room. So you see my spot here, then I'm going to jump there. So if you don't see the spot, it's because the system hasn't used it, wasn't needed. So I'm going to go there, and then potentially, if you see my mouse, I'm just going to drop the tripod there.
Again, Ghislain, just for clarification, you're not using a floor plan to go figure out where you're going to put the camera. You're doing a side-by-side where you're showing the floor plan that is the result of the workflow that's on the left.
Thank you for the precision, Dan. It is exactly correct. This is the end result. So this is the result you have. And I just added the spot here so you can match, you know, my the work I'm doing. You're going to see here, I'm just going to open the door and get in it. And we're going to have the two spot here for the utility room. So this is not an accelerated video. It's a real-time video. And if you take your watch and you time it, I'm going to have scanned a 2,000 square feet office with multiple offices actually in 2 minutes, 38 seconds.
And again, for clarification, you're presently showing how to create a super fast floor plan, not a 3D tour, not a 3D video fusion that you'll be talking about shortly.
Yeah, but that's going to be pretty much the same, Dan. But that's a good point. Right now, you know, I'm not hiding myself from the camera, because in that, we can see the time here, 2 minutes, 40 seconds. In that context here, I assume my client just wanted to have the floor plans. So it took me exactly less than 3 minutes to have a very precise and detailed floor plan. And what you saw here in terms of the video, it's really like like I said, the technique to do it. There's no need to add more. We call it stop. You know, I just did enough, maybe even a little bit too much. Like here, maybe, you know, you just need to make sure that the camera is seeing the room. So like, this is a pretty big room here, and the camera was seeing it. So that's fair enough. Like the office here, you don't need to go behind the desk to make sure that you're going to have the dollhouse and everything. That's not the purpose of it. The panoramic is seeing all the rooms, so that's good enough.
Again, for clarification, you're not recording, you're not taking notes to say this is a utility room or a server room or a hallway. Once this content is uploaded to the Urbanimmersive platform, there are real people on the other end. Is that the case, or is this a piece of AI where it's teasing out what kind of room it is?
Both. Actually, the kind of room is AI, but you know, it's about a 40 minutes rendering process on our servers, and it pretty much caked for people to just kind of you know, enhanced the floor plans. So at the end of the day,
really AI created from the video that was shot with a reality check by real people who are saying, does that look like it makes sense?
Exactly. So now let's jump to, when creating that, we definitely created by default what we call a residual footage, a 3D residual footage that a lot of our clients, by the way, use. So I'm just going to start a video here. So this is the same scan that I just did, you know. So basically, instead of just showing the floor plan, you see me in action right now. So, you know, when I'm getting into the bathroom, going there. So what I want to show here is that even though you haven't ordered a 3D tour with your floor plan, you still have this 3D tour that you can use to benchmark your floor plan. So this is the 3D tour that has been built automatically with the floor plan. So if you go back, you know, just here, this recording, this floor plan, this video recording in floor plan has created this 3D tour. Am I clear enough, Dan? Because I'm not even sure I'm clear in my mind right now.
Well, I want to say, if you were to go back to your example of the Urban Immersive 3D Video Fusion Tour example,
At the beginning,
yeah,
let's do something else, because I do have this one in Video Fusion actually. Because the only exception here, Dan, is that it fixes images, but this is basically how we create Video Fusion. But yeah,
exactly. So if you just go back for a moment to the example of the
here,
yes, here. So when we're looking at this example, and maybe if you could just put the sound on for 10 seconds.
no, I just recorded it without the sound actually, but if you want, I can go live. But
It's okay. Okay. So let me see if I can process this. And you can pause at the moment. In fact, I just want to process this in my head. Is you've showed us using the Urban Immersive app a ultra fast way to create a floor plan. And that was setting the camera on video and literally just moving the camera to every room and doing at least one touchdown in that room where the tripod hit the ground.
I like the touchdown word.
That same process is exactly how you create a Urban Immersive 3D Video Fusion, but you're just slowing down the process because you're talking either
Indeed.
by yourself, walking through the space, or having a conversation with another person, perhaps a real estate agent's talking to a real estate agent, or a real estate agent is walking through with a photographer, and the photographer is simply saying, hey, what makes this kitchen special? And to help prompt the real estate agent to tell their story.
And actually, Dan, that's how I just came up with the idea, because an agent just went to the floor plan. So a photographer went on site. He was looking at the footage, and in the back, there was the agent talking to his seller about the house. And we said, hey, we're getting that footage. Like, what can we do with that?
So
Exactly.
all we're really talking about is the process that you showed us is literally the identical process for creating 3D video within a 3D tour. And I saw that as one continuous video. Is that, or you're suggesting one continuous video per floor?
Yes, exactly, per floor. So if you have 3 floors, you can have 3 videos to record.
And if the agent wanted to have the video begin, so I'm in the kitchen and you want the video to begin, is there like a best practices where you say record a video each time the camera stops? Or no, do it as one or you need it as one continuous video in order to do the magic on the back end?
Exactly. So, there's some sort of a sequential storytelling when you present a home. You're going to start with let's say the foyer, you're going to go to the living room, the kitchen. So there's a logic behind the storytelling, and we're just following the natural storytelling of a real estate agent when presenting a home.
Well, let's stay on that a little bit. What are your thoughts of a 3D tour that maybe many of us are familiar with, somewhat a static experience, compared to a Urban Immersive 3D Video Fusion tour? What are there some benefits that you can describe? I think you mentioned one, which was the real estate agent gets to tell their story about what makes this space unique.
There's so many advantages of having the 360 video actually footage built in, within the digital twins, because you have, like you said, the agents describing the home, so you have more information. And also that is an excellent way for a real estate agent to brand himself, showcase his expertise. And for photographers, there's an opportunity here. And I really like one of the comments on your forum, Dan. Photographers can assist the agents in describing the home by asking questions, by commenting, stuff, by just, being dynamic. So it's kind of it could be a teamwork with the agent and the real estate photographer during the process of recording the 360 videos. Instead of having just a photographer, having the tripod and dropping the tripod, I think an agent can do that. The photographers would be more than just a technician. He will be a team player, will be an extension of the brand, actually, of the real estate agents. So you have a tool that is much more engaging in terms of content creation than just a 3D tour, a static 3D tour.
So really, this could be up to the real estate agent. It could be the photographer making a recommendation. When I look at it and I have like, wow, this is crazy. The real estate agent is literally telling you about the house, and it's not a linear 360 video. It's a interactive 360 video in that when you click on any particular room that you want to be in, even while the real estate agent is talking about the fireplace, you can be looking at the view out the window. So you don't have to watch the 360 video that, let's say it's 10 minutes long. You don't have to watch it in 10 minutes long. You could say, oh, I'm only interested in the kitchen and the view. I'm going to click to those spaces and hear the real estate agent tell me the story about those spaces.
Exactly.
And I realize this is relatively new. So are there best practices yet? I mean, do you feel like two people within the tour is better than one because there's a conversation that's now taking place where the photographer is really asking questions like, well, what makes this kitchen unique? What's special about that stovetop? I don't understand about this. Could you tell me? So is a interactive conversation actually perhaps a natural way to do this? Is it some real estate agents, they just want to be the only one in the video? Is it better with two real estate agents telling the story?
That is a good question, actually. And I think we have on our landing page on our website that talks about the View Fusion two very opposite example. We have an example where there's two people within a tour. So there's a photographer that doesn't say anything and the real estate agents. And it's kind of, it's not necessary, actually. The photographer is it's useless, actually. So, and you have another example on our website where there's two people interacting and it's much more engaging. So if you talk about best practice, what we say to our clients, what we say to our photographers is, if you want to have the photographers with you, it's a teamwork. You need to talk with them. Don't just, and it makes a huge difference, There's some agents that they don't have the creativity to really kind of pitch for 30 minutes a house, So by having a photographer that help him, asking questions and acting like a client, actually, a buyer, that makes a huge difference. This is why I'm saying that some photographers could even sell them this service and brand them to agents saying, I'm going to be some sort of a master of the ceremony here. I'm going to help you shine. And those photographers will be able to charge more for that kind of services because they will be in demand. I know when I work with him or her, he makes me shine. So he asks me great questions. He's saying, wow, sometime, and he's just laughing sometime, and he's just creating more better content actually to share.
And reassuring the agent. Oh, sorry, interesting. Sorry, bye.
No, go ahead, François.
It's also that MC could reassure the agent and elevate the stigma of the camera. So at least the agent, like Justin said, it's a more natural ongoing conversation. So the camera then, an agent that's a bit more not as secure, but say, I'm not sure that's for me. At least that way would be they'll be just talking to somebody else like they do every single day of their life.
Yeah.
So just anticipating maybe a challenge that we might hear from the We Get Around Network forum. does the real estate agent really want to have the photographer in the shot? And I'm going to try and answer this question and have you comment on it. If ultimately the tour is being used for someone making a decision to buy, to rent, to go to a space, that they're not obsessed as we as photographers are about who's in the scene. They're focused on the space. And if we just as photographers get over it, that you're there moving the camera and interacting with the real estate agent, that was interesting maybe for 2 seconds for the person to go, oh, that's how they did that. There's that person moving the camera. But the person who's watching the tour is really focused on, I'm thinking about buying this space. I want to look all around. I'm thinking about renting this space. I'm thinking about, I'm focused on what the real estate agent is telling me, and I can look around anywhere. Does that sound like a kind of a reasonable thing, that objection is really not an objection and a photographer should just kind of get over it because the viewer is actually focused on making a decision about that space?
But François, you can maybe answer. I can give you my 2 cents here. I mean, if a photographer, and I do have some example, Dan, in my presentation. If you want to compare, a photographer that does nothing is useless and it's even cumbersome. I mean, it's just blocking the view. But if you have a photographer that interact with the agent, that's day and night, that really kind of help the buyers understanding, what people ask in terms of question when they walk around the environment. So my belief is that it's easier for the agents having a photographer that do, I will say that, a teamwork. I like to call them here, I don't know if the translation is good, but a master of ceremony. So
Yeah,
I'm going
that
to
translates fine. So really, it's the photographer understanding their client. They're going to be real estate agents that have a gift for gab, and it's totally easy for them. They look at it. You show them the Urban Immersive 3D video fusion, the tour that you showed us with the people talking about the space. They show it to them, and they go, "I get it. I want to do that. Just show me what to do, and I'll take that tripod and I'll walk around the unit and I'll describe everything and I'll make sure to put it down and then lift it up and then keep, moving." So the photographer can kind of just guide the real estate agent to what to do. Second is, I imagine there's going to be real estate agents that say, gee, I can tell you about the house, but I need to be prompted. It's just much more dynamic and interesting to have someone actually walk through and so the photographer doesn't even have to know anything, about that special stovetop. It's like, wow, that looks like you launch a rocket ship on that. What's special about that stovetop? So the real estate agent can then interact in a normal way with the photographer.
You're right on it, and it happened to me because during the summer I was testing this product, and I did it with 2 agents, and they told me during the process, oh, stop, we don't need to use your snake, so can you just give us the tripod, and I have this demo actually. So the 2 agents just did it after like 30 seconds of they felt that I was, we're 3 in it's like a crowd actually being 3 to visit the house. So, but it doesn't take any training. Basically, you just need to touch down the tripod, and that's it. But you're really right on it. This is how I'm seeing it. I'm envisioning, the future with that technology where photographers will become rock star if they're really kind of prompting and making shine their clients. Their clients will want to work in team with them to do that kind of product. It's going to help their brand.
And photographers are seeing 4 or 5 different houses a day. So they're good at that. They have the eye for that. So they could really help agent and showcasing what's good with the house, because they know that. I
think it's like anything else, Francois, there's going to be some photographers that are a little bit more extroverted. There's going to be some photographers that are going to be totally introverted, and like that would be a story, help the prop and tell you're being introverted and only want to be behind the camera. That MLS, how does that fit in here?
I mean, can we answer this question at the end? I think right now we need to go through a feature, because when you talk about MLS, so let's say, first, I've just shown how to create a floor plan. Now, when you talk about MLS, you talk about sharing a 3D tour. So before we talk about video fusion, it's important to know that when you record a 360-degree with using a 360-degree video recording, when you do a digital twin, you can have a full 3D tour, as usual. This can be shareable, and I can show it to you. It's just taking a little bit more time to scan because you need to hide yourself, but as you will see, it's a usual 3D tour. And then afterwards, if you want a video fusion, we can talk and address the MLS's concerns.
That sounds great. Please share your screen. Let's continue. You can read more about what Ghislain is showing us at urbanimmersive.com, and also stay with us later in the program. We'll have a special offer for you regarding Urban Immersive 3D video fusion and floor plans.
Right. So we do have clients that really wants to have a 3D tour on MLSs and on Pros and everything. They don't want to be in it, but they want to have their photographers on site shooting, scanning in 5 minutes. So what I'm going to show you here, it's instead of taking 2 minutes 40 seconds to do a floor plan, I'm going to take like 5 minutes. The only difference is, I'm just going to cut the sound here again. The only difference is that I'm going to select the option on the app, and when you have the app, you click Floorplan Plus with a 3D tour, which is the first option. And then it tells the app that it expects you to hide yourself. And we have an algorithm actually that with AI will search for the personless panoramic to create a 3D tour. So I'm just right now the 360 camera is recording a video. Again, I'm touching down the tripod, but I'm hiding myself. Just make sure that I'm not in the picture, and there is it. So at your right, you're going to see the video result of this. So basically, I'm not in the picture. Of course, because we use AI, there's a human filming, and that sometimes kind of, the AI doesn't know if there's a human or not in the video. But you can see on our gallery, we have a gallery on our website. There's multiple 3D tours that are done with the video recording process. There's no human in it. So right now we're doing the bathroom, and in each panoramic, I try to turn around to show you that the algorithm really kind of pick the 360 view that wasn't having any human in it. So it's pretty much as fast as scanning without hiding. It's just that you have to run a little bit, to hide yourself. Look, instead of taking 2 minutes 40 seconds, I took like 5 minutes 30 seconds to get this. And you have, the blurry people in it sometime because there's a human there all the time. So the algorithm wasn't able to decide, which panoramic to take because there's always a human. And right now you see it working super well. It's very fast. So this is giving you a 3D tour that you can share on MLS using the 360 video recording. Now, this is how video fusion is actually born then, because this is the same exact footage, but we just kind of synchronize the video. So instead of blurring people, right now the 3D tour play the 360 video. So I can still navigate like a 3D tour like I do right now, but each time I'm stopping navigating, I see the video. So this is how the video fusion is born. So it means that with the same footage, then you can do a floor plans, you can do a real 3D tour, and you can do also.
I need to ask for clarification. So
Yeah.
first of all, it's absolutely blowing me away. And if I actually understand what you're showing me, it's like, wow, well, this was a quantum leap forward in 3D tours and storytelling. I want to say, if you just want a floor plan, then you can rush through without regard to whether you're in or not in the shot. If you want floor plans and a 3D tour, not with people telling a story, the Urban Immersive 3D Video Fusion is the people telling the story. So if you just want a 3D tour and floor plans, you're using a continuous video on your 360 camera and making sure that as you're zipping in and out of the spaces and dropping the tripod, that you mentally are making a note to get out of the shot. And the AI is smart enough to go, oh, there's no one moved. You're now in the bathroom. You put the camera in the bathroom. You close the door. There's no movement going on. I'm presuming the AI is looking for an image that's a picture that's different or something. There's shorthand. It's typically the movement that's triggering.
No, we're looking at the human. If we see a human, a face, if we see a face, we're not grabbing the panoramic. So of course, if there's always human, that's a problem. But like in my demo, there's always somebody filming. But actually, it's a AI based in terms of human. So if we see a human, we try to find an image during the frame that has no human.
Yes. So does it help to have that static period with no human longer in order to make sure a person doesn't accidentally end up in the shot?
No, actually, it's even sometimes more difficult because at first the first versions that we were doing during the summer were kind of averaging the number of frames we're having in it. The longer you stay put, the less the average algorithm was working. So we really needed to take a AI based system to make sure that it was making sense, you know, to the way we work. So there's no, today as we speak, there's no really much a difference if you stay, because for inspection purpose, you can have your tripod there for 30 minutes because the person is explaining how to change this and that and this. So the moment there's no human in the picture, this is where, you know, we're going to grab a panoramic. But if there's always human, then they're going to try to find the human-less panoramic. So if you have your face turn and stuff like that.
Yeah. Okay. So I think I'm hearing three permutations. If you just want floor plans, this is the ultra fast way to create floor plans. You mentioned, I think it took you literally a couple of minutes to do 2,000 square feet. And that's just with the video rolling and putting the tripod down. If you
2 minutes, 40 seconds.
40 seconds. If you just want floor plans and a 3D tour, follow the same exact process. Just make sure that you're out of the shot at some point.
And it's going to take you 5 minutes, 30 seconds.
And at some point, if you also want to do a Urban Immersive 3D Video Fusion, the real estate agent telling the story of the space, then you're doing the exact same process, but you're leisurely going through the space at the pace of the storyteller.
Indeed. And we have agents right now taking an hour long. So this is why we started to sell our time per hour. So we're selling video fusion by block of 30 minutes because you have rock stars that can talk about hours about a home. So you have to take that into consideration. So time, you know, when you sell a video fusion, what we are discovering, you don't sell productivity. You want to block an hour in your day. You want to sell this per hour because you're going to have a lot. First of all, photographers have a lot of fun. Agents love it. But you know, you don't want to rush it. You want to be natural. You want to take your time, and the algorithm is built to create the floor plans and the 3D tours with that video footage as well.
I got more questions, but I interrupted your presentation. Can you jump back into where you are?
Yeah. So basically, we were there explaining this is actually how the video fusion is built. So we took the same footage that we wanted to have for having a 3D tour, and then on our side during the summer, that we were doing the test, we say, oh my God, we have a product, and this is how, you know, we kind of created the video fusion professional stuff. But we did a lot. There's a lot actually, Dan, a lot of people are contacting us and say we don't find any examples on your website, you know, like there's a lot of 3D tours on their gallery that are done by video recording. But Video Fusion, if you want to have a professional output, you can definitely test it like I did here. This is, whoops, sorry. This is a Z1 here. This is a Z1 video recording image quality. I think it's not good enough for a professional use of Video Fusion. So this is good for a 3D tour. This is good for a floor plan. But if you want to go a step higher and really kind of bring your clients with you in some sort of a more professional experience, this is the best camera. And we just acquired it 2 weeks ago, François. And we're starting to rolling out this camera in our network of photographers, but the quality of image is good. It's better. But one thing, Dan, is that you have...
So pause there just for a second, because while that slide is up, I want to mention that I posted in the We Get Around Network forum a shopping list, a gear list, because what we're looking at there is actually the Insta360 1 RS 1 inch plus the Rode microphone plus the cable plus the so there's a number of pieces that are connected there. So you can see the shopping list in the We Get Around Network forum if you go to WGAN.info/3D-VF gear list. That's 3D, V as in Victor, F as in Frank for Video Fusion. WGAN.info/3D-VF gear list. And it'll just make it super easy. And I think just for clarification, Ghislain, really any 360 camera that shoots video that records audio is going to work for Urbanimmersive 3D Video Fusion. It's just that it may be after a photographer has tested the process and says, gee, what's a nicely loaded solution? That's the gear list that we put together based on the camera that you're showing.
Yeah, the most cost-effective gear right now is the Insta360 1 inch. Of course, if you have a Pro 1, a Pro 2, or even the Titan, it's even better. One of the limitations of the Z1, it's not just the fact that it has the camera has a shorter lens. I think it's 3/4 of an inch, but it's also that, I don't know why, but the limiting the video recording to 25 minutes. So if you have an agent talking about hours about the home, you're going to be stuck to do multiple videos for the same floor. So that's quite a limitation from the Z1 actually.
So really any 360 camera that records video, that records audio is perfectly sufficient in order to do a test. And this is probably a good time to talk about the special offer, which is if you go to urbanimmersive.com and you set up a free account, and then you just put a note in there that you watch WGAN-TV with the Urbanimmersive team, or that you're reading about it in the We Get Around Network forum, that you'll get up to 3 free 3D Video Fusion tours at no charge. So that's the floor plan, that's the and the video walkthrough. Is that correct?
It is correct. And the only precision I would like to do is if you want to test the Video Fusion, you don't need an app. You don't need to use our app, because the app will upload the video from the camera to your cell phone. So if you have an hour of video recording, I will tell you that your cell phone will kind of suffer the memory size. So you don't need the app. So you just take your camera, you press record, and you're recording, and then afterwards you come in on our platform and you just drop your files, and we're taking care of the rest.
Magic.
So one also thing that I like from the Insta360 1 inch is you have an SD card on it. So if you put this side of the SD card in it, you can have 45 hours of video recording. So there's like an entire week that you can put. I will not suggest that, by the way, because we never know with the SD card what can happen. And one thing also I like from this mic, this wireless mic, is you can have a dual mic. And so if you work in team, so if photographers wants to assist and be the master of ceremony, but they're gonna have to buy the dual mic, not just a single mic. And if you buy the single mic, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, François, but I think it is not even working if you buy another kind of a small mic like
No,
this.
exactly. It says it has to be paired together, so it's a kit that comes together.
Yeah. So it will enhance the audio, Dan, but also it will avoid having the sound of the tripod tapping on the floor. So when you touch down without a mic, you will hear. You're always going to, and it's kind of becoming a noise on the line, and it's no good. So the mic is really but like you said, Dan, to do some test, the Z1 will work. The Z1 is perfect to do some test.
So we've got a Rico Theta Z1, an Insta3 X3, X2, X1, Rico Theta V, Rico Theta X, Z1, whatever it is, you can actually test this today. Again, go to urbanimmersive.com, set up a free account. Just note WGAN in your note, and the Urban Immersive team will know that you get up to 3 free Urban Immersive 3D video fusion tours and floor plans.
For free. So if you want to test the floor plans only, the app will be super good. And if you want to do the video fusion, forget the app. And just quickly, Dan, if you allow me, I'm just gonna, if you want to test the video fusion within our platform, you need to ask our team to enable the feature, because as we speak, it's a feature that you have to request to be enabled, and the feature will be presented here. If you see it at the top left, just under the logo of Urban Immersive. So if you click on that menu, you're going to be able to create a new project, select your clients, upload the content. So depending if you use a Z1 to create a video fusion, the files are different than the Insta360. You don't need to take your video and process it with the Insta application, to create the MP4. You can take it raw and put it in our system. We're going to take care of it. So you're going to have for each video, you're going to have 2 files, actually. It's 1 file per lens, and we're going to take care of it. And afterwards, bing, bang, boom, you're going to have your 3D tour. So this is one example here. This example, what I like, first, the agent is awesome. The guy is a high professional. There's no doubt. He is describing the home like I never saw. But in this example, we have a photographer that is useless. The agent would have been better served just moving the tripod himself. I don't know if we have some sound here. Can you hear the agent talking, Dan?
One of the particularities is that there's only 2 units on this floor. There's this unit that's facing southeast, and there's the other unit that's also.
So one thing you can do, you can change the captioning. So the captioning is in English right now, but you can ask it to add in French.
It's 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms.
Okay. So I think also, one of my observations when I was watching that video was, you could only talk when the tripod was stationary. Not true. You can literally be walking through the space, talking while holding the tripod, and then just put it down so that you've created a touch point, a spot, a touchdown, a scan point, which then is amazing because it works perfectly with your interactive map. MLS. So are you shooting the tour twice? You're shooting a 3D video fusion for marketing purposes for the agent to distribute in whatever way they want. And then you're shooting a regular 3D tour separately so that you can submit that to MLS?
This is what we do right now as we speak. If our clients wants to have a 3D video fusion, it's going to be a separate production. So our photographers will come on site and they will take 5 minutes to do the floor plans and 3D tours. So now that is solved. So the MLS question is solved. It's a 5-minute. Now they can take the time they need, the time that the agent has ordered. If it took 2 blocks of 30 minutes, he's going to have a full hour with our photographer, and they're going to process the video recording. And they will use that video fusion on social media, on their platform, and so on and so forth. So for the MLS, right now, it's a discussion that we have with some of them. because actually, if you're not showcasing Remax brand or some broker brands, and it's just the agents talking about the home, the question is legitimate. It's an unbranded content. As long as the agent is not saying, I'm working for Remax, I'm working for X whatsoever, So I think going
So that'll
down.
be interesting. That may just depend with hundreds of MLS markets across the United States. It really may be up to interpretation by the local market. If you want to be safe, shoot it twice. If you want to see if you can push the limits, just ask the real estate agent not to mention their brand, their name, etc., so that there's no branding in it and it's an unbranded tour. Caveat, you may still get flagged on that.
Yeah, I think going down the road, I mean, as the product will become more popular, and we might at some point have some competitions also that will copy us. I think that there's going to be a general consensus about that, as long with some rules to follow. Right now, we do have some agents that take the video fusions, only put the floor plans on the MLS, and use the 3D tour on other platforms. Because at the end of the day, we have a lot of clients that 3D tours is kind of a concern for them, because it's showcasing out the entire home as well. So they want to keep, like some sort of exclusive tool to work with some of their clients.
Totally up to the agent.
Yeah.
So there's options there. Unreserved.
Yeah. So it's been announced. What was it, François? Monday?
Yes, this Monday. Yes.
Yeah. So right now they completed the orders to order their Insta360 camera. So Unreserved brand will provide for each offices a kit to do the video recording by themselves. And
So for clarification, Unreserved is a Canadian brokerage firm, and they've done an exclusive. They've said all our 3D tours, all our now Urbanimmersive 3D video fusions will be the platform of choice for all our agents. Is that my understanding? Is that correct?
Exactly. It doesn't mean that every agent will do a video fusion, but it means that if they want a floor plan, they will do it with our technology. If they want a 3D tour and a floor plan, so you hire yourself and everything, they're going to do it with our technology. And then they're going to have the possibility to have the video fusion if they feel comfortable to do it.
And which platform did they move off of? What did they switch from?
Can we say it, or? Yeah, it was Matterport.
Yeah.
So if you're a Matterport service provider and you're looking at today's show, you may be at risk of another photographer in your market looking at this same show, deciding to offer this solution, and boom, you're out of the tour business. And if you're out of the tour business, you're probably out of photo, video, floor plans, aerial, painted rocks, whatever it might be. So this may be one of the reasons to be first in the market and really let your clients decide, do they want Matterport, or do they want Urbanimmersive 3D video fusion? And at least you've given them that option to make that decision, so that if somebody's going to switch your client off of Matterport, it's you switching it from your left hand to your right hand. Is that kind of a fair statement?
It's fair to say, because we do have right now discussions with big brands that want to switch as well. So probably other announcements to do in the next couple of weeks. We've been knocking out the market, I think, with that product. But let's go back to the photographers. I like I like shooting. I'm always shooting it. But have you noticed, Dan, that since a couple of years, it's a race to the bottom in terms of pricing? 3D tours that were sold $500 4 years ago, they are now sold $100, $150. And this is because of, more photographers are offering it. It's a technical kind of process. Now, photographers with great personality can sell themselves, saying, I'm going to do the video fusion. I'm going to entertain you. I'm going to extend your brand. I'm going to make you shine. This is how I work. So instead of a technical process of shooting a 3D tour, it could become an artistic. It's like influencers. the more you make shine your agent, when you do the process with them, the more they will be willing to pay, and the more you will retain them. So I think this is an opportunity to do something we like to do, 3D tours, and this is an opportunity to brand as a photographer. You know, as a photographer, I would use that to brand myself if I would be a full-time photographer. I will get some courses to how enhancing and making shine people.
And like you're saying, Dan, some photographers say, I prefer to be behind the camera. They're selling themselves short. Like they have an expertise, like I said earlier, about a house, about how to present the house. They do it with their camera, so they know
Yes,
how to
if you had a
broadcast that.
choice of just the real estate agent or 2 real estate agents, you might seriously think, excuse me, about positioning yourself as that second person, because now they like and need you to help guide them through teeing up the questions about the house, the home, the property, and therefore you're adding value. And I think back to Ghislain, what you said, an opportunity to say, well, you said, well, couldn't this actually take longer? Because the real estate agents could now say, well, I did one take, I really want to do the whole thing again. Oh, I want to do opportunities, sell a block of time, I sell your time for an hour. If they want 2 hours to do it, who cares? Just as long as you're making money, even if it's taking longer. Yeah. So
before saying, like, it can bring back artistic value to their work.
It's really an opportunity to be an artist, to differentiate yourself, make more money, help your clients succeed faster. Before we wrap up, we've been talking exclusively about residential real estate, by extension, commercial real estate. What other use cases do you see for Urban Immersive 3D Video Fusion, Urban Immersive 3D Video Tours, Urban Immersive Floor Plans, all created with this video capture process?
Actually, it's such a good question, Dan, because we started this podcast saying that Urban Immersive focus and or niche is in real estate marketing market. But since we launched that product, we've been contacted by 3 of the biggest home inspection company in North America. I wouldn't be surprised, and I can tell it, because I think that it's moving and it's moving in the right direction. But I wouldn't be surprised to announce before Christmas one of those big brands jumping with the video fusion. So outside the real estate marketing market, people that does inspections need to record what they're saying to their clients. The 360 video recording will provide in one shot a 3D tour, a floor plans, a video recording, and the captioning that we use to create summary of what has been told, within the inspection.
I'm confused. Sounds like a new feature. Could you talk about that?
Yeah, actually, if you can I share back my screen, Dan?
Yep.
All right. So basically, it's important to mention that everything that we capture, and I think this video is showcasing this perfectly, everything that we capture is every pixel. It's all geo-coded. So like right now you can see the walls, I can make appear the walls, and even if the video moves, you can see that the walls stick where they need to stay. So I'm going to click on floor plan here, and the camera is moving and the floor stayed there. It is the same for the text. So if every word you say is geocoded in 3D, meaning that if you want, let's say here, I'm going to show an example.
Again, for clarification, there's AI of speech to text.
Yep, exactly. So let's say I want to search Thermador, and here's 2 times during the process he talked about Thermador. Here it is. I click on the line, and I'm where he's talking about Thermador. So you can imagine a store, also a local business that has multiple products to showcase. Then you have a perfect 3D tour that if I talk about pools or hotspot, I'm going to bring you exactly there where the sales rep has talked about it. Home inspection is very important. You want to talk about the deficiency, a crack in the concrete, then you can make some, like here, I just put terrace, and the 3D tour has brought me in the terrace. So other applications that are obvious that we didn't thought at first, it's home inspection. So we've been overwhelmed. You know, it's very seldom for a small business like Urbanimmersive to get in 1 week some of the
Well,
three big
Not
brands.
such a small company. I want to say you have 100+ employees or publicly traded company in Canada. So,
It's still small compared to Matterport. Yeah, but we have actually, you bring a good point. We have 300 employees actually. So it's small for the for the market in which we are, but actually it's very seldom in life in a company like ours that you get calls and say, I saw your product and I see an opportunity for our market because this and that we need. The video recording will avoid omissions, will avoid errors. The fact that we can search some keywords like this and jump, navigate exactly in the 3D tour where it's been told, create summary with AI, that's a huge game changer. But just bring this down to local businesses, stores. You want to search the product that has been described by a sales rep, there you go. Hotel and resorts. You want to go to the pool, you want to see the pool in the 3D tour, just type pool. And if they talk about the pool, the buffet or the food whatsoever, think about hotel and resort with the video fusion stuff on the beach. You can feel the wind, you can feel the heat, it's much more engaging in terms of content. So
Airbnb.
Actually, I think it's one of the best products for Airbnb because they can do it by themselves with no app. They can describe how to start the pool, how to stop it, how to stop the barbecue, where are the towels and everything. So it's a complete open book in 3D, actually. And
Museums.
I will rather prefer visiting a museum with a video fusion than a standard 3D tour because you can have the artist talking about the paints you're looking at. And if you don't like this room of all the paints of this artist, you just move around and select another one. You find artistic work, and then you have the artist or the person that talk about it. So yeah, museum can benefit big time from the video fusion.
So if you're a real estate photographer, 3D tours, etc., and your specialty is tourism, think about how Urbanimmersive 3D video fusion applies to your space. If you're a home inspector, if you're whatever your specialty is, this Urbanimmersive solution is not limited to residential real estate, though that's your primary business, but perfectly open to other types of shoots using this Urbanimmersive process.
Particularly with large environments where you have so much data that and keep in mind that we're potentially one of the best platform right now for those kind of floor plans. So this took this tool that I'm showing here took 5 hours to scan with the video fusion. So you can imagine that if you do it with the video recording stuff, the data you have is just amazing.
So this is really interesting because many of our photographers are creating 3D or 360 tours with a stationary tripod. And when you do that, it slows up the process. So what you're talking about is being able to practically run through the space and drop the tripod. And then just depending about whether you want to be in the shot or not, go at a little bit slower pace in order to be out of the shot. So it's really quite remarkable. The links again for everyone, urbanimmersive.com. If you're particularly interested in 3D video fusion, look for that on the menu. We do have an upcoming WGAN-TV Live at 5 show with François and Ghislain doing an introduction and overview to all the Urbanimmersive services. That show is scheduled for Thursday, November 30th, 2023. Excuse me. You can watch it live at the We Get Around Network Forum, WeGetAroundNetworkForum.com. If you are watching this show recorded as one of our podcasts and it's after November 30th, you can see not only the show that we're watching today on demand live, but then on demand, but also this upcoming introduction to urban immersive services for real estate photographers, you can go to wgan.info/urban immersive on WGAN. And again, the gear list for nicely tricked out audio and video for urban immersive 3D video fusion, wgan.info/3DVF gear list. François-Huges, before we go, is there anything else that we haven't covered that you wanted to make sure we talked about?
No, I think
we
it
covered
was
pretty
pretty
much
exhaustive.
everything.
Yes.
Gislin, I'm going to ask you just one more time. I know you talked about it, but at the very biggest picture level, without the technology, without discussing the tech, why is urban immersive 3D video fusion transformative?
Because this is a much more engaging tool. I think we're bridging the gap between the too much muted and static 3D tour and videos. People like videos. People watch all the time videos on social media. And 3D tour, once you have the wow effect, what else? You need to click, it's static, there's no sound. Sometimes there's some tags, but you have to open it. It's kind of, but having both merged together, so you leverage the 3D tour technology and all the best of the two worlds, actually. People like being able to go where they want to go in the 3D tour with the best of the videos, content creation. So photographers that use video fusion will bring 3D tour within the billion-dollar industry of video content creation.
How come you're not excited about this?
We are, like, you have no idea how excited we are. It's really, we've been Urban Immersive to its core we're a 3D tour company. We've been doing that for many, many years. And now this is like next level. We're really excited. It's really a breakthrough. It's really revolutionary. It's really, wow. Like we're old timers and we're wowed.
Hey, I'm an old timer. I've been doing this for 10 plus years in this 3D 360 space. And I'm blown away by urban immersive 3D video fusion. It's the ultimate in storytelling on steroids. And as you said, Gislin, the interactivity of merging what we think of as a 3D tour with now this immersive 360 video, and then lay on top of that the audio to text transcription in order to enable search to go right to that spot in the room. That's crazy exciting. And then the fact that you're able to create 3D tours and two-dimensional schematic floor plans, and for that matter, 3D video fusion, it seems like at a much faster pace than existing tools and solutions that that are offered by other platforms and services. François-Huges, thank you for being back on the show and sharing your expertise in this next generation of 3D tours.
Thank you so much, Dan, and thank you for the time you're giving us today. It's truly appreciated. We are excited. I think it's a new chapter for Urban Immersive, definitely.
We've been visiting with Urban Immersive President and CEO Gislin Lemire and Urban Immersive Executive Vice President François-Huges Leberger. For François and Gislin, I'm Dan Smigrod, founder of the We Get Around Network Forum, and you've been watching WGAN-TV live at 5.